What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to show a little bit of jiu-jitsu, but mainly I'm going to show you my pedal board that I've put together. Check out some of my other videos. You see the pedal board on that I put together. I also have a live stream that I filmed some time ago. You see the pedal board in there, but I'll show you what I'm doing to it. I'm going to be tearing it down, making some updates, and just spiffing it up. Because coming next year, I'm sure I probably just won't be playing around here at the house. I'll be probably getting out and gigging some places. But I want to make sure everything's tidied up. And I've had, you'll see it in a little bit, some things I just hadn't added to the pedal board because of time. So it's that time to put it all together. And follow along and enjoy the video. And try and get that elbow to the end, that left elbow to the inside. Inch by inch. Small battles to win the big one. Look to underhook his arm. Underhook. You got to get in there somewhere though before you start moving.
Don't
feel like you're in a safe spot.
No. But if I put this leg around, then that leg feels really light.
You're better off on the back. Filming this vlog with my GoPro, so I'm not exactly sure if I'm in frame, if I'm cutting my head off, my eyes off, or whatever. I'm just kind of aiming and shooting. So bear with me on this part, and we get to it. Alright guys, let's get into the pedals right now. And you've seen my previous video for my pedals where I put this pedal board together and I built this. Originally I built it with the idea of putting a few pedals up top, and that, you know, kind of hides my wires and things down there. I've just been using the bottom of it. Some of my pedals have dwindled down, and in my first position over here I usually have a whammy pedal. I had the WH1, but I've taken that out because it needs some repairs. And the Morley, when I originally bought this pedal, it was broken, and I sent it off to Morley and they repaired it for free. So that was one that I got for like, I think it's like $20. You got it repaired, and had it in the rack ever since, or in my pedal board setup. The Phase 90 right here. Now, what's interesting about this Phase 90 is that, you know, when I was turning it on and off, it was making a popping noise. And I think that's because of the battery is low, and I'm not exactly sure, but I'll come back to this and tell you what I think the problem is. Another idea what I think the problem is. Right here, I've got the trusty SD2, and this thing is golden. This thing is, I've had it for a long time, and the buttons up here are actually kind of crooked, so when you kind of make adjustments, both of them kind of turn, so you have to use two hands to make adjustments. But I've had this thing for many years, and it produces an awesome sound. I have a DS1 that I occasionally use, but I actually use this SD2 faithfully in pretty much every amp that I go to. And the DD20 over here, and I like this thing. It's versatile. I can switch through different types of delays, but I'm going to be honest here lately, I don't get into like a lot of deep delays or anything like I used to when I previously played. It's more on a shorter delay. Also have this cheap one spot that I use to power the pedals, and I've used that for years. But these things, I've had one before and I had it replaced because for some reason, after you use them a while, they start to squeal, and you can hear it through your amp, and there's a bunch of noise. And this one started doing the same thing. I just didn't bother to get it replaced because I had in mind I was going to get a new way to power all my pedals. I don't like using batteries. because around the house it keeps me replacing batteries more than playing time, because when I get ready to play I just want to plug up and play. But the reason I'm showing you this pedal board today is because I'm going to incorporate the Pedal Power 2 Plus into the rack. I had this a while, I just hadn't had the time to sit down with it, but it'll be my new method of powering all my pedals. As you can see, this thing's pretty versatile. If you look it up online, you know all the benefits that you get from these, and I will definitely benefit from it. It's got a lot of your cables that I'll need, and I've got my power supply here, and I'll run this, you know, to my wall or whatever I'm near. If I'm on stage, I'll be able to plug it up on stage and won't have to run a whole lot of cords. So that's where I'm at now, and I'm probably just gonna run these pedals, but I may actually be in the market for some different pedals. I'll be keeping that Phase 90. I may be in the market for a new delay. I doubt if I'll want another distortion, but I may be willing to experiment with some other distortion pedals. It just kind of depends. One of the amps that I use, the B52, I actually use the distortion on the amp, and it's just as great as the SD2. But that's a 4x12 cabinet, and my amp that I usually gig with is a 2x10, and it's an open back cabinet, and it's the Princeton Chorus, so the sound on it is a little bit different. The DS1 sounds really kind of raggedy and out of control, but the SD2, it sounds really sweet with that Princeton Chorus. If I add that SD2 to the B52 4x12, if you're familiar with the British distortion sound, it's like a British distortion sound times 2 when I hook up the SD2. So it's don't really have a big need to hook up that SD2. So this is what I'm going to be putting together and see how it goes from there. I'm going to show you guys this order, or maybe the order. But the little alligator is definitely something I wanted to incorporate into the pedal board, but I didn't have enough, you know, power slots. But sometimes this makes a good like a cough drop, like when I'm unplugging my guitar or something, I can turn this off and I can switch guitars, because I don't have any kind of fancy rig or a roadie to come out there and do that stuff for me. It also puts my volume control on the floor rather than on the guitar for some of my songs. I prefer just my volume to be under the foot some of the times to do the type of effects in some of the songs that I perform. And I had got my wah second. If I had my whammy, it would be up here with all of these. I like to go with my Phase 90 next, and the Super Shifter is probably something I'm going to put back in here. I've had this pedal a long time, and I've only used it just a few times, and I've never gigged with it. So this will probably be something special I'll put into the set. I'm not sure if I'll leave these two right here or put them after the distortion. May switch these orders up a little bit, but always coming in last will be the delay, because if I want to, I can split the signal here at stereo and have everything in here. If I ever want to switch that up, I can add it earlier in the chain and kind of go with some different effects on the dry side, to if I'm micing up a cab or just using a different amp. Just gives you some variety, but most of the time I'm right here dead last. All I have to do is work out my power situation and hopefully make some advances. So this is what we got. We got the power hooked up. I got everything temporary. I got a few things tied up. What's interesting about guitar pedals is like everything starts on the right and flows towards the left backwards from the way you read. I've never understood why it flows like that. How come it doesn't flow from left to right? But that's just the way it is, so you get used to it. But I've got my little alligator here, got my wah pedal, got the Eddie Van Halen, the Phase 90. You can see it's coming on. Super Shifter, PS5, and SD coming on and off. And then we have the DD20. And on the DD20 I can switch through the different delays over here and put the pedal power in the middle. That way it reaches left and right. I think you can get custom cables for it, but this is gonna do. The only thing that I probably would add on this is the whammy pedal, but I don't have any songs with the whammy pedal specifically. But if I did, I would take that super shifter out, because if I use the whammy pedal, I won't need a super shifter. I'm gonna use mainly this for octaves and some harmonies, not a lot. And you can see down in here is where my power supply sits, or my 6-pack, whichever you want to call it. And I run the power cable from the pedal power over to the left. At least that's how it is now. And I believe that's gonna do it. The only thing I have to do is like do a little bit of jamming on this. Okay, so we got the pedal board put together, and I've changed the order on some of the pedals. I'm gonna demonstrate a little bit of this here for you right now and kind of wrap up this video. But this mixer, the Phase 90 that I've been having, I had it in front of the distortion. I changed the distortion to the DS1 just for now to see how it sounds. But every time I kept hitting, turn on the Phase 90, it kept popping real loud. And if you put these Phase 90 before your distortion, you're gonna get a loud pop at random times whenever you turn on the pedal. So the pedal loves to be behind the distortion. So if you guys are out there messing with the Phase 90, I've only seen one video out on the internet about that, and I kind of done some research on it. But I have my volume pedal over here. I'll demonstrate my clean sound first. It's not really a tone video, but I want you to hear what the amp sounds like. That's kind of dry. Of course, my amp, it does have chorus on it where you can kind of wet that up a bit. I don't always have it on since I'm just experimenting now. I'm not looking for sounds, but I got my volume, my little alligator down here that I'll hit. That's pretty much what I use it for, a sound cut, and you keep it at the front, so when I do my delay, that you will hear the delays sustain out. So as you hear the delays hanging over, if you put the volume pedal at the end of your chain, then the delays aren't going to hold out. So just something there. I got the Morley wah next. Demo on that into the clean sound. And I have my super shifter that's next, and I use that primarily for the octave, like I was talking about earlier. Up the sound. I put the DS1 next, and I've used this DS1 with my amp before, but I've used it primarily through the second channel, where I use the DS1 mainly as a boost. I've been messing around with this, so I kind of have almost 4 different sounds in this amp right now, and it's just kind of experimental things, not something that's final. I really love the way the SD2 sounds, but every once in a while, you know, throw in the DS1, play with it, but I'll do a little demo. And just the DS1 straight into the amp, straight into the clean channel. Demo some of the sounds with that DS1. Now we're kicking this phaser. Turn up the volume. I got a little bit of rattling going on because I hadn't screwed in my amp from when I took it out and replaced some resistors. But that's pretty much the phase. Here's this DD20. Got a little mid delay on there, not too long. I've got a longer delay over here. Kind of give you a sample of what's going on there. And while I'm here, I might as well demonstrate the dirty channel. Here's the clean, as you heard, and I can switch it over to the dirty channel. There, I'm not really using the pedals here. As you can hear, it's a little bit grittier, not too gritty, but I'll boost it here. feedback. But I had the random feedback there because on this second channel I can control presence and limiter and a little bit more a different type of gain that comes out of the, you know, the channel of the amp. And I didn't engage the chorus on any of those. Chorus is just there kind of as to sweeten it up when I go to clean sounds. And I do have a foot pedal for the amp, I just don't have it down here. But that's pretty much the setup and the experiment that I went through to put the pedal power on there from the Voodoo Labs. This is actually the Pedal Power 2 Plus from Voodoo Lab. So that's what I'm powering all the pedals with. And I have a couple of cords I need to replace down here because they got a couple of shorts just kind of eating up my sound. But as far as now, that's what we're going with. And thanks for checking it out. Hope you stuck around for the whole video. And I'll get with you guys in the next one.